Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow, bringing you guys round 2 to the locals at Top Cut. Ended up facing Cruz. He's using Luffy this time. I won dice, or chose to go second to keep my preferred curve, but more than likely going against Luffy, you want to just continue to always take first. But I opened up with a blocker Shirahoshi, which has an on-kill effect, or an effect if it is killed by an opponent's effect, I heal. And I just pass, and you do see Cruz does ramp with leader ability and establishes a bond clay to ramp another Dawn and then swing for 6. I decide to take it to give myself a different option, and you see I do draw into a Basil, which is perfect. I'm going to start off by swinging 5. He counters out. Ploofies typically want to counter out and stay healthy. And then a Basil Hawkins is what I established. Use it with leader ability, so flipping up a Rush Zoro essentially. And giving that Basil blocker. So now if he decides to swing, I can block with the Basil and essentially force him to trash. So if he decides to ramp with his leader ability, it will put him down 2 life if I block. And you do see he starts off with a Zoro Joro, finding the 9 drop Luffy, which is good for me because it shows you that he does not have access to Luffy Taro. And if he did, this match, this would have been so much better for him and put me in a more rough spot. So here he's contemplating on what to do, whether to swing or not. If he decides to swing, obviously I am going to block with the Basil to force him to trash a life. But he is going to opt to instead ramp here in a second. And he's going to do this so that he can establish another 4-cost Zoro so that he can search through the deck. So he's thinking about it because, again, there's a lot of different things you can do, and this is what he opted to be the best thing. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he ends up finding a Gum Gum Giant. So we'll see here in a second. So there's the ramp. Does search with the Zoro. And, yep, I believe it is going to be a Giant. Yep, there's the Giant. So that's going to be more of a late game counter. And then he's going to pass, does not swing, which is okay with me if he decides not to. I'm just going to tap 6 Dawn and play out the Nico Robin since he is at 3 life. And you do see the Luffy Taro does get trashed there, which is very unfortunate. And here I decide to start pressuring. I swing with the Basil, he counters out with a 2K, swing with leader. He triggers the Gamma Knife, which is interesting. I told him he should have just held on to the Gamma Knife. You never know. It'll be very good when I establish a Law or a Kid to get rid of it. At that point, he just figured, what's the point? He'd better just get that extra Dawn, even though he was going to get it regardless. And then I pass turn to Cruz here. So he taps 9, ends up establishing a 9 Mom. Dawn minusing 1 is going to trash another Zoro Joro and heals a life, decides not to heal me. Honestly, I can understand it. You don't want me to be at very high health. Potentially getting rid of the Robin or the Basil would have been good, since that is something that I'm going to just continuously swing at face with. It just takes some of that pressure away. So although you don't want to heal me to gain more life, you want to at least take some of this pressure away. And you do see he's here swinging at me, and I decide to take that life. Trashing one of the 8-cost kids that I had in my hand to get out this Rush body. Not Rush, but another body that I can put pressure with this turn. And here, I contemplated on what to do, whether I establish the 8-drop kid first or not. Or the Law. But you do see I swing the Zoro into the Bond Clay there to get rid of it. Because if not, it's going to copy under my 9K bodies next turn, and that's the last thing I want. And here I'm contemplating on what to do. I almost swung the Nico into the Zoro Joro, but I end up swinging the Basil into life first. And here he uses a Gum Gum Giant and pitches the 9-drop Luffy and draws 2. And this basically shows me that he's bricked. No type of counter in hand if he's going to be using that. So I swing the 6K into the Zoro, swing 5 into his life, and this again is where I misplay. I should have established the Law first to heal. It would have attached the rest of Dawn to my leader, and I could have attached the last Dawn and swung 7K into one of these Zoros. or into leader to just put more pressure on him, preferably the Zoro, just so that he's not able to swing into me much. The other option this turn would have been to establish the Eustace Captain Kid, which would have trashed that last life that he had. I would have still been able to establish a blocker with the Basil and cycle out one of my cards from the hand to potentially have more counter. So I did have some type of options, but I decided to go with the heal to kind of buy myself some more time. So UDC, he swings 5 into the Zoro. I decided to block to force him to trash his last life because I wasn't sure if he would try to continue pressuring life at all at any point. But here he's going for a board clear. At this point he can tell that I have no counter in hand if I'm pretty much letting all these bodies go. So he is able to clear the Nico and the Zoro, but I at least have the Law, and that's essentially all I need, dependent on what he plays here. So the Eustace Captain Kid in hand is no longer needed since he is down to no life. And here he's using his last Zoro to search, and he finds an Onami, which is an on play. If you have 8 or more Don, you're able to trash a card, draw 2. So currently he's at 9. So he's going to play out that Onami to pitch a brick and essentially draw 2 more cards. So it replaces itself and you're able to filter out your hand. And here he's debating on whether he should swing or not. And he is going to opt to swing with his 9 Mom, which honestly works in my benefit since it is going to allow me to filter out with this Basil trigger. I decided to just take it to look for options, and you do see a Blaze Slice. I was going to draw into it regardless, but it is what I needed to go for game. I am going to just tap 1 Don and rest that Onami to swing 19k with the Law here. And Cruz is going to look at all the counter he has, uses a Giant, pitching one of the Moms to draw 2 more cards, which again is a great way to filter out the bricks and find counter with the Giant. He's going to end up being able to get to 18k and just miss the amount of counter to get out of the swing. So that's game. As always, if you guys like the content, make sure to like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, subscribe to the channel, and catch you in the next one.